Hello, everyone. I promise I am not selling anything. So at the end, I do not have anything to sell. I'm here because I love agents. I was here earlier today and I was talking to someone, that gentleman right there, and I told him I love agents. He said, really? And I do. So I'm here to give. And I'm here since, 10 o'clock this morning, and I'm so impressed with everyone, and I've learned so much, and I think we can all learn from one another. So is my presentation up? Great. So today I'm going to talk about how to become a luxury agent. And it is, oh, do I have a clicker, by the way? Oh, here it is. Great. So here's a beautiful thing. We are in a down market, and it takes time to build a luxury brand. It does not happen overnight, but if you start now, by the time the market's back up, you'll be an expert already, and you'll be able to reap the benefits of being a luxury agent. But I promise I'm not selling anything, and you're going to learn at least one thing you didn't know before. Even though I have some of my team members here, there's a few things that I put into this presentation that they never heard before. Okay, so again, my name is Luciane Serifovic. I'm the CEO and founder of Luciane International Realty. I am the first woman-owned virtual luxury real estate company in the world. I am now up to 3 offices. I have an office in Manhattan, one in Long Island, Manhasset, and one in New Jersey. And my journey started in 2003. That's when I became an agent, so I've been around the block for a long time, and I have evolved. The first thing I think is important for you to understand is that your financial situation has nothing to do with you being a luxury agent. What does that mean? You do not have to be a high net worth individual or a wealthy person to work as a luxury agent. I notice a lot of people think, oh, I have to be wealthy to be a luxury agent. And you really don't have to, because your high net worth clients do not expect you to be a high net worth person. We are here to serve and to provide a great experience for the customers. But I started as an agent with a tiny little company called City Sites, and that company eventually folded. Then I went to work with another one called City Habitats. I was the senior managing director running the relocation division. I became the #1 office in the entire country, managing about 130 agents. And then that company got acquired by the Corcoran Group, and there's some wonderful friends that I met through here. There's some folks from the Corcoran Group here. And then while I was there, I felt like, what was next for me as a manager? I was making all this money, getting all these awards every year, but I wanted to be part of a luxury brand because I was still on the City Habitats umbrella. And then I went to Douglas Elliman. And I had a great experience for my first 2 years as a director of rentals, and then I started overseeing several offices. I learned a lot about luxury when I was with Element, but I truly understood what's like to be a luxury agent when I went to another company called Town Residential. And why is that? Well, because the company thought of every detail on what's like to provide a remarkable experience. And I'm going to go over some of those details, and you understand what is the difference between being a regular agent and being a luxury agent, and how you can take your business to the next level. Now, the reason why I chose to be a luxury, which, by the way, Town Residential went out of business in 2018, I believe. Yeah, 2018. And when that happened, I had an opportunity to go to work at any firm that I've worked previously, or I could have opened my own company. I met with about 40 companies, and there were 3 things that I wanted. 1, I wanted a luxury brand. 2, I wanted to make sure I had technology. And 3, I wanted to make sure I had a leader that I looked up to. And sadly, I couldn't find a company that had all 3. So I said to myself, you know what? I don't want to be regretting for the rest of my life that I never tried. And 4.5 years ago, I opened Luciane International Realty. And it's the best decision I ever made. So why? Thank you very much. Now, what's really important is I didn't want to, so when I decided, okay, they went out of business, holy crap, I have to now make a decision, do I do this or not? But then I thought, you know what? Just so you know, I came to this country, I didn't speak a word of English, and I came with $200 in my pocket. My parents were so generous, and they gave me $200. And I live in a dark basement. It was dark 24/7. And I live with my aunt and my sister, and we share like a mattress in the basement. And I couldn't believe that's where I began. And like, I was so focused. It was like a horse with those blinders on. I just kept going. And then one day I decided to look back and I was thinking, oh my God, like my first interview, I didn't even know how to speak English. I don't know how anybody even gave me a chance. But to my point is, it doesn't matter where you came from. You could become a luxury agent. It's all about building your brand. And I'm going to go over into details on how I did it. So I wanted to take it to the next level. And I said, okay, so if I'm going to compete with Douglas Elliman, Corcoran, and all these big brokerage firms, I have to have a value proposition. And I needed to make sure that I was going to be even one step above the luxury brands. Then I thought, okay, there's a luxury client, somebody who's selling a multi-million-dollar property. Typically, they think that their clients are either going to be a celebrity or it's an international client. Guess what? My brand is doing both. We have the network of celebrities and also of the international clientele that I built through alliance partnerships. Which, by the way, how many of you know who J Balvin is? Okay, so tonight, I'm going to meet him at a red carpet. So I'm going to bring 2 people with me tonight. Okay, so at the end, I have a QR code, and whoever scans it sends me a message. You have to follow me on Instagram, and sends me a message. I'm going to bring 2 people tonight to his concert. All right, so this is serious stuff. Anyway, so I was on a mission. I said, okay, so if I could be a luxury agent, how do I take it to the next level? So I said, well, celebrities. My first client was with a baseball player for the Mets, and I got him through Instagram. So I had no relationships with anyone in the entertainment space, sports, nothing. But it was a decision. I decided that's what I wanted to do. One of my last transactions was with the former CEO of HBO, and I sold his penthouse in Manhattan. And that also came through just me deciding to become a luxury agent that's representing sports and entertainment clients. So there's 5 steps that I'm going to go over with you, and I'm going to breeze through them very quickly because I only have about 10 minutes left. So the first thing is you need to do a brand audit. You have to Google yourself, and every time your name comes up in a website, you need to see what do you look like. You need to see what's written about you. You need to really understand what people are reading. As an example, I had an agent, because I've managed thousands of agents in my career, because I've been doing this for over 20 years. This agent came to me, he said, Luciane, I'm devastated. I said, why are you devastated? He said, well, I was supposed to get this Brooklyn townhouse, and this is a friend of mine, and she just never gave me the listing. And I said, really? He said, yeah, she gave it to Corcoran. I said, okay. This was when I was at Douglas Elliman at the time. So I'm like, well, it's not the brand. So then I said to him, okay. I said, okay, let's go online and let me Google you. So I go online and I Google him. He had one $1,600 listing on his webpage. So I asked him, I said, would you sell with you? And he said, holy shit, no. I said, exactly. I said, your brand does not reflect as a luxury townhouse expert. Why would anybody give you this opportunity? I wouldn't. You wouldn't even do it with you. So you have to go out there and do a brand audit. Then you'll realize what's out there. Keep the links of every single place where you have your name and your photo on it, so you have to go back and edit, right? So then after that, you're going to hire a copywriter. It's worth the investment. That person's going to help you write everything about you that's going to be interesting to the person who's reading it, right? A bio should not just be about who you are, but what value do you bring to the person who's reading it. So have that copywriter create this amazing bio for you. Then what you're going to do next is you need to hire not a regular photographer. You're going to hire a photographer that does like model photo shoots. Let me tell you something. I've had a lot of photographers, but the last 2 I used, you're going to see my photos everywhere. It changed everything because people want to do business with people that look powerful. And you need to look and act successful. When I had 0 clients, when I started my company 4.5 years ago, and I reached out to someone who got drafted by the Mets, and I decided to contact them. I'm like, well, did you find an apartment yet? I'm here. I'm an agent. I wrote to him that I was already an expert in sports and entertainment. I knew nothing about sports and entertainment. But you have to act as if you're already successful because nobody wants to do business with people that are not successful, right? I'm not saying you should lie, but someone said earlier, like, if you work with another brokerage, leverage the fact that they have listings, leverage the fact that they have other relationships. but do that. Act as if you're already there. Like when I was an assistant manager, they didn't give me an opportunity to become a manager. I had to ask, but I would dress like I was a manager. I did all the things that a manager would do, and eventually they gave me an opportunity to manage hundreds of agents. And that was, an incredible journey because I got to learn from all the top agents what they did right, and also from all the agents that did everything wrong. So then you have to do media training. I'm going to give you a couple of names. That's not going to be on the slide. Dale Carnegie, they have a training session called High Impactful Presentations. And let me tell you, that training, they film you, and they take you in the back, and they give you some feedback of how you were on camera. And when I was talking, my hands were like, so once they showed me the video, I'm like, oh, you can't tell my hands are shaking. So you kind of learn how to do better as a speaker. And today, more than ever, we are constantly on as a performer. We're performing in front of our buyers, in front of our sellers, and you should know how to do that as well. Okay, so media training is a must. Also with PR firms, a lot of PR firms do offer media training. So I've done media training with one of the top PR firms called Rubenstein, and they do the same thing. They kind of teach you how to have like bullet points on how to look at a camera, and they teach you how to do that. And we all know we have to do more on video today more than ever, right? Otherwise you don't exist. So you have to do more video. And I am actually starting a challenge with my team Monday that we're going to post a video of us talking for 21 days straight on social media. Why? Because if you do videos for 21 days, she's in it. Because if you do it for 21 days, it becomes comfortable for you. And one secret, guys, my first video, you know how there's Facebook Live? So I started doing the Facebook Live, but there's a secret. There's a little button there. There's 3 options. One option, it says only me. Second option, it says friends. Third option is public. So I would go live, but I would change, before I went live, I would change it to only me. So I'll do like my live video. And then if I liked what I did, then I'll change it to public. You can do that as well with Facebook if you want to practice and get yourself, your video out there. But let me tell you, the beautiful thing is don't feel nervous about video. If you get the media training and then you start doing videos, you can film 100 times until you feel comfortable. And then when you like it, then you post it. But video is the future. I had the HBO, the former CEO of HBO, I got that listing because I was posting a $950,000 townhouse on LinkedIn. His girlfriend saw my video. She said, she did all that drone and on-camera stuff for a $950,000 listing. What is she going to do for this $8 million listing? And that's how I got that listing. That was a direct buyer. My commission was $260,000. Okay? So, thank you. LinkedIn is extremely powerful, but if you don't put your face out there, your name out there, nobody's going to know the value you bring to the table and how you can help them. So stop being afraid. You have to do it because it's the future. Otherwise, your competition is going to be doing it. So here's one of my partners. So Garima, she was trying to get a 9,000 square feet compound in New Jersey. She was working for another company called United Real Estate. And she said, Luciane, she saw me do a presentation, which, by the way, there's something called the power of the microphone. If you have an opportunity to public speak, you're going to learn if you do some of these trainings, you're going to get referrals. Every time I speak, I get a referral, okay? So I did a presentation, something similar to this one, and she loved my presentation. So she was trying to get this 9,000 square feet house in New Jersey. She said, the seller won't give it to me. It was for sale by owner. She said, the seller won't give it to me. So she called me. She said, Luciane, I loved your presentation. I'm trying to get this 9,000 square feet listing, but the seller won't give it to me because I don't have a luxury brand. Would you be able to help me? So I said, absolutely. So I helped her pitch the listing. We got the listing, and this was during COVID. So we got the listing. We sold it in 1 week, virtually. Okay? Thank you very much. And so I taught her everything. I'm like, okay, this is how you're going to do the virtual tour. This is how you're going to do the drone. This is how you're going to do the video. This is how you're going to write the description. And she was just like, oh my God, I didn't know all these things you have to do when you have a luxury listing. I'm like, absolutely. Anyways, so she said, eventually, she said, would you help me maybe become an owner? I said, absolutely. Why don't I license my company to you, and then you become a broker owner yourself? So she's now, her average price point was between $400,000 and $800,000. She now, her last deal was $1.9 million, and we just got a listing for $3.3 million in Saddle River, okay? So you can do the same. So, but look at her photo before. So we went to pitch, I gave her 13 listings in the first 2 years, maybe a year and a half, as referrals. And one of the sellers said, I don't want the United Real Estate sign outside. He said, I want the Luciane sign outside. You know how somebody's, if you're carrying a Chanel bag versus a Michael Kors bag, which one are you going to feel more proud? So he wanted to feel proud that he was with the Luciane brand, which I felt very proud. And at that time, I said, I'm sorry, she's licensed with this company. We cannot have a Luciane sign. But within about 6 months, now we have all the Luciane signs in New Jersey. So this is how we rebuilt her brand. This is her digital business card. And the photographer is everything. So look at her photo. She's powerful now, right? You need to have this power photo. I don't care if you take 300 photos. We need to find that one photo that people are going to look and say, wow, that person is a successful person. And also, this is a digital card. So one secret, I know a lot of you have the QR codes. Don't do the QR codes. The QR codes is a mistake. When you go meet with people, you want to get their information. If you have a QR code, they're going to scan your QR code. You're never going to hear from them. So I went to an event that I met Eric Adams, the mayor, okay? And there was about, 10 other executives. I have all their cell phone numbers. Why? Because I tell them, oh, you know what, let's stay in touch. Let me text you my digital card. And I text them my digital card. If you have them scan your QR code, you're not getting their information. Anyway, so we created this digital card, and that's how everywhere I go, I didn't do it here, but in general, I always text people my digital card. So step 2, you're going to build your luxury brand. How do you do that? Remember on your audit, you go in there and you're looking for all the websites where you are. Well, you need to go back to all of those websites. Once you have your professional headshot, your bio, you need to go and change all of them. Make sure every one of them is going to be consistent. Same headshot, same written description, same banner. Because remember, think about Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola's been the red sign with the right letters, right, for 200 years. It's the same thing with you. You need to build your brand, and people are going to recognize it immediately when they see you. Then you're going to do the same thing on all social media channels. You do the banner on LinkedIn, Facebook, and all of those places. And then you're going to focus on the top 10% of everything. The top 10% of clients, wealthy clients, top 10% of the listings in your market. And then you need to pay attention to details. So if you look at this picture, it's hard to see on this here. But this is a photo of an agent who had the listing before me. This was my first listing when I became Luciane. This seller did not want to give me the listing. He was like, I never heard of Luciane before. And I said to him, I said, okay, what's preventing you from giving me this listing? This is a very good question that works every time. He said, well, you don't live around here. Your company is new. I said, well, what if I bring another agent who lives nearby with a company who is already experienced? He said, I would do that. So regrettably, I brought another Douglas Elliman agent, and we co-listed it. And I sold that. It was painful to give him $35,000, and I did all the work. But at least I got my first listing. This was the most expensive house in Plainview. And then that was my first listing. So now on the next listing, I could say I'm already a luxury broker and I did the deal. But the details, like this agent who had the listing before couldn't sell it, look at the photo before. With this one, I told the owner, take all the furniture out. He was moving anyway. I was like, take that out. And then I virtually staged it. And the photos looked immaculate. We actually had a bidding war on the property. So you have to look at the details. And you'll be surprised, luxury properties don't always look perfect. So you have to go in there and make sure it's perfect. There's nothing on the counter. It smells good. Like all those details needs to be thought out. So let's, as an example, right? So think about how when you go to a Marriott versus when you go to a Ritz-Carlton. A Marriott, the same exact room. It looks like very similar in size, location. Marriott's $350 a night. Ritz-Carlton is about $1,000. Why? Because when you go into a Ritz-Carlton, people know your name. They know what kind of newspaper you read, if you're a newspaper reader. They know what kind of juice you like. They'll greet you by name. They make you feel special. And that's how you need to be as a luxury agent. You need to make people feel special. Another example is Mercedes versus Hyundai. So I told my husband 3 years ago, I said, I want to get a cheap commuter car. He said, no, you're a luxury broker, you're not driving a Hyundai. I said, come on, let's just give it a try. So I decided to go try to buy a Hyundai. So I walk into the dealership and I'm like, oh my God. It was packed. The salesperson was very poorly dressed, hardcore salesperson. They never offered me anything. They treated me very poorly. So, but when I sat in the car was like amazing, had all these incredible features. Then I said, okay, let's go take a look at the Mercedes. So I go into the Mercedes dealership, smells beautiful. And then the receptionist welcomes me with a smile. Hello, welcome. She's like, may I offer you coffee, water, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, this feels so much better. And then I sat in a car. Now, the Mercedes, this is the two cars I was deciding, by the way, I was deciding on. Now, the Hyundai had like unlock features with your phone, heated seats, like all these amazing features. But when I closed the door, it was like, tack. When I closed the door with the Mercedes, like, boom. Solid, right? So now we had no features, no heated seat, no iPhone, like mobile device thing to turn everything on and off. But when I sat, I'm like, I feel good. This feels right. But it was not just the car. It was how I felt the moment I walked into the place. And why am I telling you this? How are you making your clients feel from the moment they call you? How are you making the other agents feel when they're emailing you about a property? Like if an agent emails me asking to show one of my listings, I'm like, thank you so much for your inquiry. I can't wait to meet you at the showing. Like, you have to take it to the next level, not only with your clients, but also with other agents, because that's what a luxury agent does. We are better. Another example is when you walk into a TJ Maxx versus Chanel. You know, when you go into a TJ Maxx, it's all messy and nobody's there to support you. Walk into a Chanel, but this is why they get the big bucks. There's $20 bags in TJ Maxx and like $5,000 bags, starting price point Chanel. And it's both stores. But it's because of how you feel. It smells delicious, by the way, when you walk into a Chanel store. And there's like, everybody's so well dressed, speaks so well. And it's a completely different experience. So what I want you to think about, when you have a listing, I don't care what price point it is, you need to treat it as if you're walking into a Chanel store, not TJ Maxx. And it's your responsibility to teach that seller this is extremely important, because this is how we're going to be able to get you the highest price. Step number 3, go through some luxury training. There's 2 I'm going to tell you. 1, Ritz-Carlton training, $1,500. But they have a training program that teaches you how to become a luxury agent. Number 2, luxury home marketing. Institute of Luxury Home Marketing. It's actually a certification you can do for like $500. But they give you all the stats of a wealthy client. What do the wealthy clients like? What do they not like? What's important to them? Network with other luxury agents from all different markets. Start looking into family offices. Family offices, they are literally a team of people that are representing some of the wealthiest family in the world. I'm a member of a family office committee of CPAs. I'm not a CPA. If I didn't ask to be a part of that, they would have never asked me. You need to ask to be a member of family office committees. Why? I've done, I think, about 6 sales from being a member of this family office committee. Wealth advisor, private clubs, philanthropies. That's where I'm going tonight. No, actually not tonight, but in general, I go to a lot of red carpets. I'm going to an event with Mark Anthony, December 4th. And he raises money to help children. The ticket is $2,500 per person, okay? But I'm on the red carpet with Gloria Stefan, you know? You gotta make an investment in yourself. So Mark Anthony has a gal outing. The lowest tier to be able to become a sponsor was $1,500. But guess what? Is Mark Anthony here? My logo right in the back, you know? You have to do these things. But philanthropy is another great way to be able to meet some of these wealthy clients. But you can't go there and like throw up on people. You know, you have to go and like build personal relationships. There's also art, a lot of art events that you can go, very exclusive events. You can also meet some great people there. Step number 4, you have to understand what the wealthy likes. So very briefly, when you travel, it's very important to look at luxury destinations. So even if you go and you stay at a Marriott, find out where's the Ritz-Carlton and go check it out. Why? Because next time you're having a conversation with a wealthy client, you can say, oh, I know the Ritz-Carlton on this street in Cayman Islands. Oh, yes, I know where it is. It doesn't matter if you don't stay there. At least go there and you can have a drink at the lobby so you get to understand these luxury destinations so you can carry on these conversations. Then you want to understand some of these activities and give it a try. So I am actually a golfer now. And the first time I did it, I was golfing just for clients, okay? And it was 160 guys. I was the only woman there. The guy comes and says, are you the icy girl? I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, with Nike from head to toe? Like, do I look like the icy girl? No. But since then, I have my own golf clubs, and now I go golfing because guess what? Some of the biggest deals is happening in the golf course. And ladies, yes, you can golf. But the same thing, like, equestrian is a big thing. People do get involved with horses. A lot of wealthy clients are involved with horses. As an example, I went to polo at the park on Central Park, and I met Bloomberg, okay? Because his daughter is a very, she's a competitive rider, okay? But then if I see other people that are wealthy, I have those conversations because I've been there. And, you know, these things work. Step number 5, understand your client's needs. So when you meet with every client, you need to fully understand what's the most important to them and exceed their expectation. But if you don't ask the question of what's the most important thing for them, you're not going to know how to exceed their expectation. So one question I ask is a $1 million question. Are you guys ready? If we're sitting here today, and it's a month from now, 2 months, or 3 months from now, paint the picture of what your experience was like for you to say, I'm the best agent you ever had. And people are, every time I ask that question, I ask sellers that question all the time, they're like, wow, that's a good question. Nobody ever asked me that question before. So ask that question. Be extremely professional. We talked about this, right? When you write your emails, now thankfully ChatGPT exists. So like write your email and then run it through ChatGPT because you need to be extremely professional when you're writing, when you're talking to people, answering a phone. You need to take it to the next level. And then transparent communication. Even if you have good or bad news, you still need to give the news because clients appreciate that. And also wealthy clients really love discretion and privacy. They don't want you to be bragging about you working with them. So this is a very quick video of, am I gonna be able to go back? It's gonna be very quick of how I did this listing presentation. This was from the former CEO of HBO, so I made sure I had the HBO logo on there. And send me a message. 2 people, I'm going to do like a raffle. And tonight, whoever's available, send me a message. If you can follow me, but if you don't send me a message, if you cannot make it tonight, don't send me a message. But send me a message if you want to come tonight to meet Jay Baldwin. Send me a message, and I'm going to send a message back in a few minutes that you can come with me, all right? But guys, good luck being a luxury agent. I'm so proud of you to be here and learning and growing. I appreciate you.